It's 12 o'clock, and you're watching KCCI Channel 8 Des Moines, Iowa's news leader, with Molly Cooney, Jason Hoffman, and meteorologist Mike Lozano. This is News Channel 8.
U.S. military forces gearing up for more attacks today as the showdown in the Gulf continues. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Molly Cooney.
And I'm Jason Hoffman. It's nighttime now in Iraq, and you're looking at live pictures of Baghdad. Citizens there are preparing for a second round of airstrikes. So far this morning, U.S. warplanes are striking Iraqi air defenses along the borders. Now, Lee Cowan has the latest from Washington coming up in just a little bit, but the latest that we have heard are a lot of the cruise missiles are being sent deep into Iraq. And as we mentioned, the Navy strike aircraft are dropping laser-guided bombs right along the border there, taking out air defenses. Lee Cowan joins us now from Washington with the latest.
Well, that second wave of attack is already underway. In fact, British Tornado planes have already returned from their mission over the skies of Iraq, dropping their bombs in some of the rural areas outside of Baghdad. At the very same time, another round of U.S. cruise missile attacks is underway as well.
As night fell over Baghdad, the Desert Fox was ready to strike again. The operation, so named by the Pentagon, was into another phase. At the White House, the president was meeting with his national security advisors. The message was clear. This mission is far from over.
We have given Saddam Hussein chance after chance to cooperate with UNSCOM. We said in November.
This is a CBS News special report. Part of our continuing coverage of the showdown in the Gulf. From CBS News headquarters in New York, here is Dan Rather.
Second day of the attack on Iraq, Defense Secretary Bill Cohen is briefing at the Pentagon. We go live to it.
And other military infrastructure and facilities. One thing should be absolutely clear. We are concentrating on military targets. We are not attacking the people of Iraq. And we have no desire to increase the suffering that Saddam Hussein has imposed on his people. But before General Shelton brings you up to date on the operations, I want to stress that our military is performing extremely well, and every American should be proud of the troops who are participating in Desert Fox.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Good afternoon. I want to take a few minutes to give you a brief update today on our military operations thus far. I should warn you up front that there will not be the level of detail on either targets or the initial damage assessment that I know all of you would like to have. That kind of detailed assessment either simply isn't available or in some cases would reveal too much about the ongoing operations. That said, I can tell you that last night our operations were executed very well, very professionally, and we're thankful that all of our pilots and air crews returned safely. As I said last night, we can all be extremely proud of the men and women of our armed forces on duty around the world, and particularly those in harm's way in the Persian Gulf. Last night's actions principally involved our naval forces in the Gulf, with more than 70 Navy and Marine Corps strike and strike support aircraft from the USS Enterprise, and well over 200 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from Navy ships. While I will not discuss any specific targets at this time, I can say that last night U.S. forces struck more than 50 separate targets, including attacks against targets outlined by Secretary Cohen, which included weapons of mass destruction sites and WMD security sites and security forces, Saddam's integrated air defense and airfields, and the command and control infrastructure that supports Saddam's military and his regime. I have a couple of examples of damage that I can share with you at this time. The first example is of the Baghdad Director of Military Intelligence Headquarters in Iraq. The way this is broken down, we have an Area 1 which shows the pre-strike photo. This happens to be the building right here, along with one of the ancillary buildings shown over in this area that was also targeted. Down in this photo or in this photo up here, where you don't see anything but rubble, is what formerly was this building. And where you see, in this case, this building right here, you'll notice down here, there's nothing left but rubble. Also, we'll take a look at Baghdad's barracks brigade and the Abu Ghraib facilities, which are part of these special guards, special security guards. Here are their barracks, shown in this area, Area 1, before the strike, along with the headquarters area up in this area. You see over here that this headquarters is now rubble. If you go from these barracks, the pre-strike, to the post-strike, you'll see out of the 5 barracks,